Hello eCrafters, this is Jennifer with Firestorm's Follies, and today I'm going to show you how to make a double point banner flag and a Lacy tag using basic shapes. Up first, the banner flag. Come on over to your basic shapes and select a square and select a triangle. And I'm going to move these over to make it easier to deal with this. When making these banner flags, you're going to want to keep tabs on what the width is on your square because we want the triangles to take up that same amount of space. So this square is 1 inch by 1 inch. So first you're going to want to take your triangle and you're going to want to flip it upside down. And then you're going to want to reduce the size until you like the shape, whether it's a longer point or whether you want to go for a shorter point. The key item that you need to just keep tabs on this one is just that we keep the width at 0.50. And once we have the shape that we like, go ahead and make a copy and then paste. And then we'll position these on the square. Make sure that you have at least a little bit of the triangle overlapping on the square so that when we put these shapes together we don't end up with more cuts than we really want. And when it comes to the little fine-tuning movements, I tend to use my arrow keys over the mouse because it's a lot more fine-tuned and it's steadier than I am. Once you have all three shapes in the position that you like, you're going to select the cursor button, click and drag until that gray box is surrounding all items, come up to Path, and click Union. And there you have your basic shape. And now I'm going to show you how to make this cute little Lacy tag. First we're going to want to come over to our basic shapes and select a rectangle. And then we're going to want to select a circle. To make it easier for me, I tend to put things in position to help visualize them. So to me, I look at tags being up and down versus side by side. And we'll get this shaped a little bit more proportionately. And for the circle, that one's going to be too big for what we need, so why don't we knock that down and make it 0.30. And we're going to make a few of those. I try to make copies up front for however many I'm going to need of a specific shape so that I don't have to continue to make copies as I'm going through. And because there's 3 different sizes, let's go ahead and change this one. .20. And again, I'm going to make a copy. And make some extras. And let's go with another smaller size. Be sure to click that second box on the height and width to make sure that what we want to have happen actually happens. make a few more copies of this one as well. Alright, now that we have these shapes, we can go ahead and build our design. And we're going to make the bottom portion of the tag first, and then we'll make the cutouts. Once you have all of your circles in place, we can go ahead and come over and click on the cursor. Select our rectangle and all of our circles. Click on Path, and then Union. And now we have our basic backdrop for this tag. For the next portion, we're going to want to take our remaining circles, and we're going to want to select all of them. Copy, and we're going to paste them in a new project. And the reason we're doing this is because the order that we place things on the virtual mat are the order that the machine is going to cut them in. So we want to make sure that these inner circles get cut first. For those of you that are using tabs, it's not as important for those of us who tend to like to be a little bit on the lazy side and not use tags at all for anything. So bring your circles over first, and then come back over and grab your basic shape. Once the items are on the mat, then we can adjust them, move them however we need to, and it won't affect how they cut in the end. Let's bring this tab up where we can see it. And we're going to start moving these circles into their place. One of the fun things about doing screen recordings is they tend to take up a lot of memory on your system, and they don't move as fast when you're trying to do things, and they don't always behave. Now that we have our circles in place, you can go ahead and cut the file as it is in this manner and use it as a page like I did, or you can add another circle up here at the top for it to be a tag. And the other thing that you can do if you prefer dealing with one specific shape that you can move around easily is you can come up here, click on your cursor button again, select all of your circles and your rectangle, click Path, and this time you're going to choose Exclusion. And what that did is it kept our circles intact without blending them into the background. Another fun item that we can do with our paths is to use the one that is labeled different. For that, we're going to need a square and a circle. Just think of this as bonus content, like at the end of the movie. So let's move this square over here. I want that circle to be a lot smaller. And I'm probably going to need 20 of them. Not that I'm impatient or anything. Yeah. We'll just let the machine catch up over there. Alright, we're going to come over here and I'm going to start lining up circles. And when doing something like this, I tend to put the outside circles on first and then fit everything in between those two. Once all the circles are in place, go ahead and select all of the items. Come up to Path and select Difference. And what you end up with is that great little postage pattern. The amount of items that you can create with basic shapes is unlimited. All you got to do is just grab a few of them, see what you come up with. Try the different paths, different ways, line things up, different overlap, put them next to each other until you get to a point where you feel comfortable with those paths. I know that's something that's very foreign to me and is one of the reasons why I tend to play around with them, because I want to understand them better.